The coronavirus pandemic has brought the U.S. automotive industry to a standstill unlike any event has since World War II. Factories were shuttered, hundreds of thousands of employees were laid off and no new vehicles rolled off U assembly lines for roughly 2 months starting in late March. BofA Securities analyst John Murphy described the second quarter as likely to be the toughest in modern history for the automotive industry, as companies grappled with close to a zero revenue environment for a few months. Other investors and executives with the automakers have called the second quarter unprecedented and likely the worst 3 months of the year. The Detroit automakers this week are all expected to report losses. General Motors, which is the first major U automaker reporting earnings for the quarter, is forecast to lose $2.9 billion when it releases its results Wednesday morning, according to a consensus of analysts surveyed by FactSet. Ford Motor, which reports its second quarter earnings after the markets close Thursday, is expected to say it lost $4.9 billion. Analysts estimate that Fiat Chrysler, which reports Friday morning, lost $2.3 billion. As the Detroit automakers report second quarter results starting Wednesday with GM, earnings aren't the only thing investors will be watching. Here are others. Cash remains king for the automotive industry as companies attempt to manage through the crisis and recoup lost profits and ramp up vehicle production. Expectations are obviously extremely low given volumes were so bad, Morningstar analyst David Whiston told CNBC. The biggest thing I care about is how bad was the cash burn. GM said it expected to spend between $7 billion and $9 billion in the second quarter. That was partially contingent on the rate of monthly U sales dropping to 8 million to 10 million, which only occurred in April. That could mean slightly less cash burn for GM, according to Whiston. The coronavirus pandemic cost GM $1.4 billion in first quarter earnings before interest and taxes. The automaker had $33.4 billion in automotive cash to begin the second quarter. Ford burned through $2.2 billion in cash during the first quarter. It did not provide a forecast for the second quarter other than it expected adjusted earnings before taxes to be a loss of more than $5 billion. It had automotive liquidity of $35.1 billion to end the first quarter. Fiat Chrysler spent about $5.1 billion in cash during the first quarter related to the pandemic. GM reported a $294 million profit in the first quarter compared with losses of $2 billion for Ford and $1.8 billion for Fiat Chrysler. Both GM and Ford roughly doubled their automotive debt to $30 billion during the first quarter to help bolster their balance sheets and get through the coronavirus pandemic. Wall Street will be watching how quickly the companies can repay those liabilities and return to normal debt levels.